Hi everyone, Renee from Australia. We're really excited to have the movie Down Under. What is going to catch Twihard fans by surprise the most, do you think?
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. We'll surprise you.
Surprise. There are some stuff that I haven't seen the movie yet, so we're just super excited, I think, to see the little bits that we're going to get to check out today. But for me, there's some stuff with Peter and I that's, I can't say, but that's like really scary and heightened that I'm excited to see.
There's
some surprises that are going to surprise them.
There's this thing.
It's kind of hard not to give it away, right?
There's this thing, and it's like, and then it totally, and then that's what happens, it's crazy. But you'll love it.
Tell us.
And you can quote him on that one.
But I think also seeing all the international vampires, like that's going to be cool because they're all so
It's
different
huge.
and
You get
they're
introduced
cool.
to a whole new cast. That's
And
pretty
Bella's a
really
vampire, which is pretty awesome to see.
A lot more vampires this time around. A lot more.
International
Right.
vampires.
There's a lot
I
of
think
fun,
we have an
actually.
Australian vampire. Do we have an Australian vampire? We should.
There are some. We have some
research.
Australian vampire
Australia.
friends, but they're not in the movie.
It's a long trip.
We didn't have time to go to Australia.
We didn't have time to go to
We did go to
Australia.
Very
Egypt,
busy.
though.
Hey guys, Mark Walters of BigFanboy.com. Thanks for coming out. I wanted to ask, Bill Condon is the only director that worked on 2 films. Everybody else just worked on 1. Can you talk a little bit about what he was able to bring to the franchise and sort of help, set these movies apart from the first 3?
Honestly, it felt like Breaking Dawn was one movie. It is part 1 and part 2. I mean, it would have been insanely long otherwise. Bill was just an amazing director. I think whenever you're working with a director, you find that the energy from the director kind of trickles down through the entire set. And since he was so calm and just collected and composed throughout the entire filming process, it felt just breezy and effortless and thought out, and he's a great director for actors. He, works with us and talks to us and kind of, lets us try new things. And he just always had a pleasant disposition about him, which is really nice whenever you're filming.
Yeah, and he never raised his voice once. When you do a movie, it's like going on a journey, and it's really like the director's the captain of the ship, like Jackson said, and that energy everybody feels, and Bill's energy is he's such a great actor's director. Like, he cares about what you're thinking, and very open. It's even though there's he's pressed for time and he's doing 2 movies at once, and all this stuff is happening around him. He'll still take time to sit there and talk to you about your scene and your character and what you're going through, and that was really a treat.
Yeah, I think too. Also, to get to work with like serious filmmakers on this kind of a movie, I think they have elevated these movies, and we were so. I mean, as an actor, just the crew of directors that we've gotten to work with are totally, like, really super high-end, real filmmakers. So Bill Condon has a vision. And it's so specific, and he's really passionate. I think like he's taken this story to another level.
Hi, I'm Rosie from Latina.com. As far as character development is concerned, can you give us a little insight on the journey of each of your characters in the final installment?
Yeah. Well, I think I'll start. When we first see Jasper, he's just kind of tweaked out. I always almost compared him to like a heroin junkie, and he's just kind of going through withdrawals. And he hates it. He's just in a room full of high school kids, and he just wants to eat. It's like a guy on a diet being presented a bunch of donuts. It's like, no. And then finally, as the movies progress, he gets more and more comfortable with that attitude, with that lifestyle, the vegetarian vampire and whatnot. And finally, here in Breaking Dawn, I think it's the first time we ever see Jasper just kind of at ease a little bit, and then all hell breaks loose. He likes that.
Yeah, I think with Alice, it was nice for me. I feel like she had a really great kind of arc and development. You saw her come in as this really lovable, friendly, upbeat vampire who really didn't seem like a vampire at all. I always said she's the nicest person you would ever meet, much less a vampire. And it was nice throughout the saga to kind of get to see different sides of her, and whenever it came to her family, to get to actually see her act like a vampire, and have a little bit of an edge to her, and kind of become protective. So that was fun to see, and I think in this last one you definitely see that. There's a lot of things that happen in this one where I think everyone kind of has to step up and come together and really work together to protect what we care about.
Liz, you got skipped. Don't try to get out of it.
I think these movies have forced Esme into a kind of different lifestyle than she imagined for herself. I think she's like the ultimate pacifist and would never want to fight and would never want to have to be as forceful and as powerful as she's capable of being. And I think that Bella has put our family in such a vulnerable situation, and it's forced Esme into being this powerhouse and basically being someone that she doesn't really want to be, but you don't really have a choice when it's either your family or your lifestyle, your way of living, your moral code. And so I think she's actually had to betray her own sense of self in order to protect her family, and that's been fun to play with as an actress.
Well, in Twilight, I started out dyeing my hair blonde, and then as the movie progressed, I wore wigs, and the wigs kind of went through a transformation. And then in Breaking Dawn, it's a little longer. That's kind of my arc. I'll talk about.
That's it.
So mine are the 5 shades of Emmett, like 50 Shades of Grey. Yep. There's no, he's just fun-loving, and it's great. I know Emmett doesn't have the most lines, but he's such an influential character, and I just love playing him. He kicks it all off, right? He hasn't. It's just great showing the protective sides and how much he enjoys being a vampire and how much he is really rooting for Bella to become one, so he can roughhouse with her until she kicks his butt, and that's no fun for him. But yeah, I've really enjoyed watching Emmett and adding to him each movie.
I
You
actually
really
like.
are the happiest
I
of
do
vampires,
like.
aren't
I
you?
like that the humor that you brought to Emmett. Like through the movies, you get to see a side of Emmett that's very humorous.
Gosh, the two of you together, it's like,
It's a love fest.
why don't you just spoon right now? Just do it. I feel like reading these books and investing in all of our characters like we have, and not always having the opportunity to portray every aspect of our character has definitely been a challenge. And I feel like first of all, I smile in this last movie, which is, well, it was a big deal for me. And it's not frustrating. It's just sort of the nature of these movies. They revolve around this love story, and we don't always get to show every side of our characters. So for me, I waited a long time for Eclipse to come around, and then Breaking Dawn, so you could see the other sides of her, and sort of have the audience root for Rosalie a little more.